So welcome guys to another one. If you're wondering why I'm sat over here, because there's actually going to be some product examples and product screenshot examples coming up on the right where you guys are going to be able to see what do good product numbers look like and what do bad ones look like. It's something that I get quite frequently. It's something people ask me like, oh, is my product good? What do I look for in a product? Like I keep seeing similar kind of numbers. Is it good or bad? And product research does take time. That's something that you just kind of have to accept. But without further ado, we'll get straight onto the first one, which was submitted by Christian. He ran that by me a while ago and just want to kind of give my thoughts on exactly what it's like. So I will bring that up. So as first impressions, it's a pretty decent one. There are some pretty solid demand. There's only a couple that kind of I don't like too much. I mean, there's a couple that are under 5 sales. There's one or two that are like 50 and 30 sales, which isn't great, but at least they're selling. That's always a bonus. I mean, as long as they're selling, as long as you get your product in stock, yours will sell too. But we want those kind of bigger numbers that are also there as well. But I would say about 70% of the listings meet our criteria for the sales. In response to reviews, it's towards that more competitive side. Some of them have got 170, 180, 150. Some of them are very close to 100 as well, like 70 and 80 reviews, which isn't great. But if you really attack the reviews side and really pump a lot of reviews into your product, which I will show you exactly how to do in future videos, if you really do attack that, it's definitely not something that you can, it's definitely not something that you should run away from, but definitely a reasonable product. The next one that we're going to look at is this one just here. The price point is really quite good, around 55, 60 pounds. Some of them even stretching into 80 pounds product as well. And one thing I like about more expensive products is if you think about it this way, is that there's a higher barrier of entry into more expensive products. If you want to sell a product that's 80 pounds in the UK or $80 in the US, chances are it's going to cost 30, 40 at least to get it to that country. That's why it's more expensive. One, there's going to be a higher profit margin. And two, it means people might not be able to afford the amount of inventory that it takes to supply the product. So for this one here, for example, where there's one that's £102 that sells 464 a month, that's a lot of money to pump into your product, which therefore is a barrier of entry, which therefore reduces competition. So the sales on this one are pretty good. They're obviously a little bit lower, but it's a higher priced product, so that's okay. Some of them are selling maybe, I'd be happy to sell 100, possibly even 50 of these in a month, because the price point is higher. 150, 200 though is great. Reviews also, there's only that one scary guy with 1,300 reviews, but all of the others seem to be pretty low, and there's even some with 30, 40 reviews that are still getting 3, 4, 500 sales, which is really good. That's the sweet spot. This is a pretty good product as long as it's not patented in a restricted category and you can actually get it made and private labeled yourself. And the final one that we look at until I teach you guys exactly how to find margins for your product. He sent me this one not so long ago, but the sales on it are pretty good. 300-400 sales, 1,000 sales on some of them. Some of them are pretty close to 1,000 as well, which is really good. There's good demand for this product. Only a couple dipping below that kind of 50 sales, but there aren't so many high reviews as well. It's kind of split 50-50. And it's not a 50-50 split where the ones that have the most reviews are selling the most, because there is someone here with 160 reviews that only sells 70, and there's someone there with 80 reviews that sells 916 in a month. So it's very much a case of you might have to look at the individual listings, see maybe why they're selling more than others, why the reviews don't always associate themselves with high sales, and if there are some that maybe there's a particular color, particular design, like a multi-pack, or some kind of reason why some are selling thousands and others are selling 20, that's what you want to go for. Follow the money on that one and make sure you pump as much as you can into that product and really think about which one it is that's selling the most and why. Like I always say, as long as 70% of the listings meet your criteria, and if some of them here are different products, or you can just think like, oh, people aren't buying this because of this reason, maybe it's 129 euros and all the others are 50, obviously that one's not going to sell very much unless the quality is improved. And if it's not, then you can just remove it from the listing. If you go over to the little numbers, as you can see on the side of each listing, if you click on that number, it will remove that product from the extension and you get a better idea of kind of what is going on. But that's just a small tip. And before I show you guys exactly how to calculate margins for your product, which I will do in just a couple of seconds, I want to tell you guys exactly and go into a little bit more detail about the private entourage group, which I launched yesterday. I have a handful of members who are looking to join already, and there really won't be that many spaces for it, just because, as you guys know, I've left this open for a very, very long time, that you guys can contact me whenever, message me whenever, a very, very open doors policy. And that's all well and good, but now the channel has grown and it's, we're getting almost 100 subscribers every few days now. And that comes, unfortunately, with more messages, and I don't get any more time to respond to them. In light of that, I had to do something about it because I was spending more time answering questions than actually working on my own business, Amazon and private labeling and etc. And all the things that I wanted to do were being taken apart by answering the messages. I still wanted to be able to offer that service because I know how important experience and things like that is when it comes to things like this. So I decided to open up a paid group where you guys can pay monthly. It is $50 per month, and you're part of this group where you can ask me any questions you need, whenever you need. You will have direct access to my phone, actually on a WhatsApp group, so it'll be my number, not even on Facebook. So as long as you have Signal, you'll be able to contact me. You don't have to have internet. And I will be able to help you step by step, answer any of your questions, and help you through this process so that you crush it and get some crazy sales. But if you want to join the Entourage group, just send me an email, tonyduchars@yahoo.com, and I will reply to you as quickly as I can on how to join that group. So next up, we have exactly how to figure out how to calculate margins on your product. So up here, now on that side, we have just a product that I typed in, nothing super technical or a good product. I don't even know what it is, if I'm honest. But we have a Melissa and Doug See Inside alphabet wooden peg puzzle. Just an example product, and basically all you have to do is, if you want to check the margins, you go to something called an FBA revenue calculator. Make sure you go to the right country. There's obviously one for the US, UK, Germany, and every other Amazon there is. Make sure you go to the right one, because then the currency will be the right one when you enter any values into those boxes that you see there. First, it's going to ask you to enter a product, enter the one that you want to check, and try and find one that's as similar to yours as possible, because what this is basically going to do is figure out what the rough fees are going to be for that product and tell you how much you're left with after buying and selling that product. So for your fulfillment column on the left, that's obviously for if you're sending them from your house or warehouse to a customer, which you can do. I have courses on how to do that. But for this model, we're talking about private labeling, which is getting your products from China to a Amazon warehouse, and then they sell in the Amazon warehouse for you. You don't even have to do anything for it. So the item price at the top is obviously what you're going to sell the product for on Amazon. Make sure you look at what other people are selling it for. Come up with a conservative estimate of what you can start out with. E.g., if the top price is £20, don't put in £20. Maybe put £17, £18 in, just because that way you're going to be able to undercut the competition and be able to sell a little bit better and get those first reviews, first sales, and build a bit more of a rank that way. Underneath that, you can see the next book is Deliver to Amazon. I leave this one blank and just include all the costs per product in the box at the bottom. So we're only focusing on the right column here. At the box at the very far bottom right, cost of product. That is the cost of the product that you order plus getting it to the UK. So if I order 100 units, that cost me £10 a unit, I've spent £1,000. So if, let's say, I had a quote from a supplier that said, okay, it's £1,000, you get 100 units and they're shipped to the UK, you don't have to do anything else, that's it. They're labeled, everything is done for you. Then it is £1,000 divided by 100, which is £10 per unit. £10 per unit, then you put £10 in here. Let's say if it was selling for £20 up here in the item price, then Amazon is automatically going to work out 20 minus 10 minus any of the fees, which is why you pick a product that is similar to the size of yours, because Amazon works out the fees based on the size and weight of the product. Then it minuses those off and tells you at the bottom where it says net profit and net margin, how much you are going to make from that product per unit. Obviously then, if your estimate's to sell 2, 3, 4, 500 of this product in a month, you times that by that number and you figure out how much potential money you can make from that product in a month if you do it all well. I always tend to say, just a word of warning, always be conservative when it comes to these things. You know, myself and some people that I've worked with in the past, we always recommend to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So by preparing for the worst, I mean be conservative. You know, maybe the product will sell for $25.99 in the future, but it might only start at $22.99 or even $19.99 or whatever it is in the future. Or whatever it is right now. You know, if it's a little bit more competitive, you might have to drop your price. If it's not competitive at all, you can start right at the top end price, but just make sure you keep that in the back of your mind that you might have to start conservatively with the pricing. But thank you very much for watching, guys. That is everything today. like I said, if you want to join that entourage group, send me an email, tonyduchars@yahoo.com, and I can help coach you and mold you into a good Amazon seller as best to my ability. Some of the students that I have already are doing very, very well. I haven't actually updated that in a long time. I think Nia's actually closer to 10K, and Jafar is still, as far as I'm aware, doing very, very well. And there's some other sellers that I haven't even got a mention. So I need to update that before the next video. But if you want to join that group, just send me an email. But if you do have any questions, just leave them in the comments section below. I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure you join the respective Facebook groups and send me an email if you want to join that entourage group. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow for another video now that I have all the equipment that I need to hopefully improve the quality of these videos. You guys won't be in such a painful state to be able to watch them, and I can actually help you a little bit further. But do let me know if the quality has improved by subscribing to this channel and liking the video. It really does help me and shows your support that this content is something that you want to see more of. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for lesson number 3, where we will most likely be going over finding and sourcing your product. See you guys then. Peace.